Welcome everyone to the female bodybuilding channel. We're joined by top coach Derek Natcher. And we're joined by Emily, say the last name because I always butcher it. Schubert. And Emily, wow. First of all, JB sent me a DM. He was very, very depressed. He couldn't be here. He's at another job because he's been following you since forever. So he just wanted to say hello. And Emily, we saw the pictures maybe like 4 weeks out. You were starting leaking some pictures and we couldn't believe what we saw. Crazy conditioning, crazy size. We were, yes, what show are we doing? You wouldn't answer. And then we saw you on the list for this last Pittsburgh. Talk to us about this weekend. How did you feel after it? Well, how was the weekend for you?
Honestly, this weekend was probably one of the best experiences I've had competing. It was the first time I competed at home. I live in Pittsburgh. I'm born and raised right here in the Burgh. So it was the first time I've actually competed at home since 2018, since I've been a pro. So it was a very, very good experience for me to have not only, to be able to have my family be there, but to have a lot of friends and supporters and people from my gym to be there and kind of see what I do. Especially the members at my gym, they see me training day in, day out. So to see them kind of see the final package and it all come together, it was a really, really, really good experience. And it left me with a really full heart and a happy spirit at the end of the day.
We can talk a little bit about placing all this later, but first of all, were you proud of the physique you displayed at Pittsburgh?
Yeah. So we actually took all last year off, and because of my feedback was to grow. So
wait. Your feedback from the judges were to grow. That was in 2021 after 8th place Olympia, correct?
Yeah, I actually did the 2021 Olympia and then 2 shows after that.
Okay.
And at the end of that season, I'd spoken to the head judge of my final show, and he said, we like what we see. We just want you bigger and denser, which is going to take time. So Derek and I spoke. We were both on the same page. The only way to add tissue is to give your body a surplus in time. So we took all year off. So that was my year in 2022, and it was pretty much Groundhog's Day. I lived and breathed bodybuilding. I lived the same schedule. I woke up, did my cardio, made my meals, did my training. It was pretty monotonous, but this is what I enjoy. This is the lifestyle I enjoy. So I did what I needed to do. It sucks watching the whole season happen, and I wasn't part of it. But sometimes you gotta sit back and wait for your turn. So going into this show, I wasn't really sure what my physique was gonna look like. Taking a whole year off, I was about 15 pounds heavier near the end of prep. So that was a little bit, in my head. I wasn't quite sure how that was going to translate to stage. So coming off prejudging and seeing a little bit of the pictures that my friends had taken from stage, I was in shock. I had never seen myself look like that. So it was really eye-opening to kind of like put a visual to everything that I had done for the past year and a half.
Derek, you worked with Emily. Emily is in physique and bodybuilding. Usually girls, they switch every 3 months, coaches, as we've seen. I can't even stay up to date with what's going on. But Derek, you prepped her, coached her since 2017. Talk to us a little bit about what type of dedication, mental for bodybuilding. What type of worker is Emily?
Emily's the highest level in terms of a worker. Everything I've given her since I've got her in 2017 as a low placing figure competitor at the regional level. She's just taken it and ran with it. I actually have to keep Emily on a leash because if I let her off her leash, she will just overwork herself and drive herself into the ground. So I'm kind of constantly pulling her back. I give her direction and she kind of pushes me to take it a little bit further. And I always kind of got to pull her back a little bit. So Emily's an overworker. She's not just a hard worker. She's an overworker. She'll do everything that I could ever ask from her, and then she'll kind of want to do more. So that just kind of speaks to her character.
Is it hard sometimes to tell her to do less?
Yeah. So her metabolism picked up right after the Pittsburgh. I fed her a lot to get her full enough for the Pittsburgh, and her metabolism picked up. So, this entire week I've had to pedal her cardio and not let her do it. And it's killing her. If you ask her, she's dying inside, not doing her cardio and not feeling, feeling kind of bad this deep in prep. But when we got to do what we got to do. So yeah, it's difficult to pull her back.
Do you have a problem going low calories, Emily? Some people don't. So do you like the feeling of suffering a little bit, or do you don't? Like, how are you?
Yeah. So I actually go to a tissue therapist here in Pittsburgh. His name's Adam Blumen with Alliance Athletics. I've been going to him for years, and he's fantastic at what he does. And we always have this inside joke that the suffering part is actually like my skill set. I'm just a psycho. I like that feeling of pushing myself to see where my limits are and whether or not, I'm gonna mentally and emotionally make it through. So as much as it does suck, some of those days that are rough. And if you're repeating those days over and over and over again, they add up. You get to a pretty low point. But it's a test. And that's why I do this sport, is to see what I'm made of and to see what I can really put myself through. And I don't know, I just like it for some reason.
Insane conditioning, Derek. What's her? How low did you have to go on diet at the worst for a couple of weeks in calorie wise?
She got pretty low. So I've learned, so I've coached Emily for a lot of years now. So I've learned her physique, and I kept her fuller longer in prep this year. So then when we started coming down, I had to be a little bit more aggressive. So she got pretty low for a few weeks. There was a few stretches where I didn't refeed her at all. And I knew she was suffering, and I just kept talking to her, but I ultimately know Emily would do anything. So, calorically, she was, I think, at her lowest, somewhere a little bit, just over 1,000 calories, but for the amount of muscle she has.
And is that with cardio, empty morning and training, or is it just training?
A little bit. So it depends. So I check in with Emily a lot. So pretty much every day. So it depends on where she's at, what she's feeling, what I've fed her, how she's responding. So everything kind of varies throughout prep. But yeah, there's some times where it was low. And I think anybody that really comes in peeled has to suffer for it. And she did for a bit. I think her suffering's she's got the worst of it out of the way now that I got her metabolism fully cranked up. She has all the body fat off of her. And now I can start to feed her a lot more. But yeah, she went low for about 3 weeks. She was really in the trenches.
A lot of the coaches I've seen, when they brag about, I give the client so much carbs and no cardio, they seldom are in shape. I'm just saying, you got to go hard here.
Yep.
Pittsburgh, Emily, straight into the middle with the queen of women's physique, Natalia Coelho. And it was instantly Polly looked tremendous, but it was a 2-women fight. When you were called out into the top 2, like, what were you thinking? Because this is Miss Olympia here, and this is your return. Because this is no regular girl. This is Miss Olympia. What were you thinking?
It's funny because I went into that show telling myself, like, all I wanted was first call outs. So once I was in that first call out, I was happy, that I felt like I would have been happy with that, because the lineup was deep. A lot of those girls look fantastic, and it all matters what the judges are looking for, what kind of look they want. And going into the show, I had a lot of people talking about, is she too big? Is she have too much muscle? Does her look great? So I was worried about that too. So to get into the first call out and then moved right to the center, it was awesome. Naturally, Natalia's the best in the world. She's Miss Olympia. She's reigning Miss Olympia right now. So to go toe to toe with her, it it was a pretty cool feeling.
And coming in on social media, social media is really not everything, but on female bodybuilding, we are blessed that we have all the athletes and people that follow the sport closely. So it's not just men who loves muscle. It's like a big group of people who actually watch the sport. And for some reason, a lot of people had, what can I say? a lot of people really wanted you to win. They just love that fighting spirit. They just saw your physique looked so good, and many believe that Natalia shouldn't have done the show or whatever. But there was a lot of feedback after the prejudging with people wanting you to win. But Derek, realistically, you were there when you saw Emily next to Natalia. What do you see physique-wise here?
So they're two different physiques, and bodybuilding is subjective. So Natalia's got a smaller waist, and I'd say, you know, a better structure than Emily. I think Emily out-muscled her, and they're actually similar sizes. So a lot of people say Emily's too big for a women's physique, but if you look at the pictures, they're pretty similar sized. Emily has bigger and more developed legs. Natalia's got a crazy small waist. Her structure is really great. Two different physiques, and you know, I can see how the judges went in the direction they wanted to go. I'm going to be bringing a little bit of a different look in New York with Emily, so we'll see how that stacks up next to her. But yeah, I think the judging was fair. I think they picked the physique on that day that they preferred, and I still think Emily can beat her.
Was Emily peaked? Was Emily peaked at Pittsburgh? Is this the best she can be?
She was peaked, so I nailed her.
Looked that's what.
Yeah, so I had Emily nailed in Pittsburgh for the look we wanted to bring. Like I said, I'm going to tweak it a little bit for New York, but yeah, that's exactly what we wanted. We brought it, and I don't think she could have been better for the package we were trying to bring in Pittsburgh.
I don't want to hear the strategy for New York because I don't want people know everything. But how much did you weigh, Emily, at Pittsburgh, and how much did you weigh in your last show in 2021?
So at my last show in 2021, I was, I think 136. I think 136.
136.
It was my
5'4". Okay, 136.
Just a shy over 5'4". So I think I was like 135.8. So like 136. And then at this show, I was 147, I think. 147.8.
So 11 pounds up, and your conditioning, it's a little bit improved, isn't it?
I think, yeah. I mean, there's parts of my body, like the backside, like my posterior chain looks a lot different this year, especially like my lower half, I think. A little bit more definition there, so
11 pounds up you're not the tallest. That's Derek. This is not everyday transformation in a year and a half, is it?
No, absolutely not. She gave me the time I needed though, so we had to talk, and we're just Emily wants to go. So I pedaled her and told her, like, if you really want this, you're gonna have to take next year off and deal with just not being a part of the game for an entire year. And she agreed. You know, Emily does listen to me. So she took my advice. We took the time off. And then, as I said earlier, she's an overworker. So whatever I needed to do, I could just pull the trigger on her, and she was willing to go to war. And if you watch Emily's training, you'll see something really special there. She wants it bad enough to just go to war in the gym. And, you know, that 11 pounds is doing everything necessary every single day for that entire off season. And then making sure she's in the gym and doing everything she needed to do there. So yeah, it's not normal. This is not something that's not an average thing you can see people do in a year. But Emily's a special person.
Yep. Emily, do you have a YouTube channel?
I don't.
So where are we supposed to see this epic training? Instagram is not. That's not. Where can we see? Where can you inspire the young kids to become like you?
I really utilize my Instagram as pretty much my online journal. I call it. I mean, I would say Instagram right now. I would love to do YouTube if I had someone to help me.
Well, you're gonna get
something that
you're gonna get a spot this year. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's something that I'm definitely open to doing. It's just a matter of I want to do it right and make sure that it's quality rather than just pushing a bunch of content and information just to get stuff out there.
Do you have a sponsor?
No, I have a suit sponsor. It's BB Custom Suits. I've worked with her since I've started. She's been behind me the whole way. I also have a couple other companies that do help me out. Liquid Sunrays for my tanning. I work shows around the Pittsburgh area for them, and they help me out when I do compete, which I very much appreciate. And then I also have a jewelry company that I am using. I'm not sponsored by them, but I do like what they provide, and they've had a fantastic service. I'm always happy with the look that they end up giving me, which is called Body Bling Jewelry, with Bam. She's the creator there. But as far as like anything else sponsor wise, it's all me. It's pretty much a one-woman show here.
It's gonna happen. The point is we need a sponsor to reach out, a real supplement brand sponsor to catch the content of the training. And obviously after this season is not, it's 100%. Emily, you right now, you are the hottest thing in women's physique in the whole world. You're harder than Natalia Coelho right now. That's if she hears this, she's probably going to do some phone calls and get us. But the point is, it's true, because people, if you see on Instagram, people are going crazy with support. And they also, sometimes when you leak pictures before the show, people get like, I don't know if this can be the same on, you surpassed your Instagram expectations. And this is not usual in women's physique or women's body. Usually it's the other way around. This is a total, and when you turned around in the back shots, if I was a judge, obviously Natalia is a little bit more petite and you know what I mean? But Derek, did you see the hams and the glutes?
Yeah, I see them every day.
That's something. And the posing, Emily, I gave the best posing. It's you or Mimi. Mimi had a little bit more artistic, very beautiful music. And well, you have that women's bodybuilding, like you're dancing, you're getting the crowd involved. You can see that you enjoy it. Great routine, Emily.
Thank you. I I have a dance and a gymnastics background, so performing is a little bit in my blood, I would say. That routine, I actually chose this song quite a bit in advance. I had it kind of set in my head probably like, I would say like six to 7 months before the show. That was actually freestyled, the entire routine. So I knew I wanted to start with a split and then kind of just went with it. So yeah.
Derek, before I ask you about the New York Pro and Emily, you hear it a lot. You should do women's bodybuilding. She should do women's bodybuilding. Oh, she's too big. This is not physique. This is not physique. You just turned second place to Natalia Coelho against some Olympians in women's physique. Then I switch on RX Muscle today, and then I will not mention the name, but then we see an Olympia judge saying she should move to women's bodybuilding. What do you, as an athlete, and we're not trying to bring the judges down, but when you hear all this women bodybuilding talk, and then you prove you are a women's physique girl, because if you weren't second place, close second place, they wouldn't give you second. They would do like Korableva in Romania, giving her 8 in women's bodybuilding because she's too big or whatever. How does it make you feel when, Derek, when you see those comments from an Olympia judge, she should move to women's bodybuilding after proving she is a women's physique?
It doesn't make me feel any kind of way, really.
Okay.
The feedback we've gotten from judges that, Emily's reached out and talked to has been, even as of this weekend, is to stay in women's physique. She second and she pushed Natalia on stage, I think. So if we get the feedback that she needs to move to women's bodybuilding, I have no issue filling her up a little bit more and getting her fuller and pushing her into that category. But she needs some more time for her upper body to develop, to match her lower body. And right now, as we just saw this weekend, she's standing next to the best in the world and being compared. And a lot of people think she should have won. She's competitive against the best in the world in that class. So until we get the feedback to move, I think she should probably be staying in women's physique. I think that, her legs are probably a little overpowering her upper body, and we can balance that a little bit better with some more time. But I'm gonna use whatever the judges' feedback is and apply that. So everybody can have an opinion, and that's what's so awesome about bodybuilding. But ultimately, what happens on stage is what matters most. So that's what we're going to continue to plan our process around.
What do you want, Emily, for you in your heart? You want to stay women's physique, or
Yeah,
you
I
want to go
think-
challenge Andrea Shaw?
You know, I know if I
Emily,
bring her...
no, Derek. That was for Emily.
Okay, good. I didn't want to answer that one anyway.
Honestly, I love training. So whatever I have to do to not need to water down my training is what I'm gonna do. So, you know, after this season, obviously we're gonna go into an off season, give my body the rest and nourishment it needs. You know, most likely we'll probably take another year off.
Really?
You know, the way I work and the way I treat my training, it's a job. I love it and I enjoy it, but I'm not doing it just to do it. You know, there's a purpose and there's a bigger goal I have in mind. So, you know, if we train all next year and I end up growing, then I grow and we move up. So I'm open to it.
May I ask how old you are?
I just turned 30 this year.
Oh, Derek, just turned 30. Oh, yeah. And you're 147 pounds in this condition?
Yeah.
This is women's bodybuilding Miss Olympia 2027 now, correct? I'm just, but anyway.
You can say that. I'm not going there.
No. So anyway, New York Pro, a lot of people ask, okay, Natalia's doing it. Why don't you just go to Optimum Classic and get nothing is easy in bodybuilding, but get the most likely win if you base it off your last showing, or Anna Harrias is very good also, but you beat the other girls. And Natalia is at New York. Why didn't you do Optimum Classic, Emily, instead?
The way that I look at bodybuilding is to me, it's a sport. And I'm a professional athlete. And as an athlete, we do this for competition, right? So I'm not gonna go and avoid going up against the best, because at some point you got to do it. So might as well face it head on now and, you know, let the cards fall where they may.
Do you believe you have a chance to win New York Pro?
Yeah, I would say you can't go into an event with a negative mindset right off the bat, because it'll show. So I'm going to go in there. I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to stay confident. And like I said, you know, the judges will kind of choose what they like that day, and we'll see.
Derek, don't tell me what you're going to bring, because we don't want Natalia to take notes. But you will bring a different package. This is correct.
Slightly, you know, she's nailed. So to make drastic tweaks would be completely asinine. So I'm tweaking things slightly, but it'll be a very similar package to what we brought in Pittsburgh, with a minor tweak that I think may be able to give her the edge, or not. You know, we just have to wait.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, it's going to be slightly different.
And without snitching on the future, because you told me some of the plans, is her body physically, mentally prepared to do another show in a week or two if she has to?
Absolutely. So I don't have to do anything drastic at this point with Emily to peak her. You know, I think the most dangerous part of it in bodybuilding is the peak. And I don't have to do any of the things that are dangerous with Emily, because she gives me everything all prep, and I have her body pretty dialed in. So I can just get her super conditioned, learn what she needs in terms to bring her back to life. And yeah, she's super healthy. So and that's why I'm so comfortable going to New York and not just getting the win and shutting it down, because from here, her metabolism spins. I know that I'm going to be feeding her more as we go from here. So yeah, honestly, I could keep her in prep for a while based on what I know about her body and where she's at right now. So let's go battle in New York. And if it doesn't work out, you know, we can jump in Omaha, Toronto. We can, you know, the rest of the year is wide open.
Emily, a lot of people are happy that you're doing New York, because people pay tickets. They want to see the best of the best, you know, and it's not often we get amazing athletes like yourself. And New York Pro is a prestigious show that hasn't had the prestige as it used to have, like the level of, I don't know what it is, but with you in the women's physique class, it brings, there's many other great athletes in women's physique, but it brings the main event. Like, this is the big main event for women's physique, and maybe for women's bodybuilding also, because you are the hottest thing in female muscle sports right now. Thank you very much, Emily, for coming on. Derek, because I know you guys are busy, you're flying. And Emily, just remember, right now, you are the talk of the town because of your physique. And I don't think an athlete can ask for more, can they?
No, that honestly, I want to be known for my work ethic and my discipline and my dedication to the sport. So to have, my body do the talking, that's exactly what I want.
One thing just before we go, because I gotta post this on Instagram to say that you're here. Derek, I know you're there, but I know the fans want to see Emily. Emily, can you take us out with some muscle before we go? Can we see some shots? And she's ready, and she's going to New York Pro in she's flying today.
Yeah, I'll be traveling all day today.
Are you wearing pants? Can we see the legs?
I have sweatpants on, but I'll show you.
Are you wearing shorts?
Yeah.
Can we see the legs? Because this is next level. Derek, can we see the hams?
Show it off, man. Show it off.
Show it off. Oy. Incredible. Incredible. Awesome. Good luck. And everyone, when is prejudging? Is it Friday or is it Saturday?
Saturday, 8 a.m. Tune in.
8 a.m. UK.
They do have a live stream. They do have a live stream. It is on sale, I believe, until Friday. It's only $20. So
that's it.
Yeah.
They should charge 100 now that you're in and give you a cut of the deal. But anyway, bye-bye.